Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining in for today's webinar presentation. This month, I'm excited that we have a two-day webinar presentation on covering all about the eRes booking engine. Today's presentation is going to be the first one and is going to cover the setup and basic distribution with eRes. So let's go ahead and get started. The outline for today's presentation, we do have quick introductions, and then we'll jump right in with the setup and customization of eRes. We'll look at how to add rates to the eRes booking engine. Then we'll look at how we can distribute different types of rates, including corporate web codes or corporate rates using a web code, group rates using group codes and a group login portal. Then we'll look at when you can start using these features and eRes as a booking engine. We'll wrap it all up with a summary and Q&A for today. So for our introductions, my name is Tasha Leclerc. I'm a trainer and implementation specialist with RoomKey. Joining me today, I do have our Director of Customer Experience, Mr. William Tam. I'll be directing today's presentation and the demonstrations on screen, and William will oversee the chat and Q&A. Everyone participating in today's live presentation is on mute, but if you do have any questions as we go through our presentation, you can go ahead and click the Q&A button on the Zoom meeting. Ask your question, William will be able to answer, and any questions that we're not able to answer through that Q&A chat, we can also include in the Q&A at the end of today's presentation. A couple more things about today's webinar. It is being recorded. A copy of the recording will be made available on our support website, and everyone that is registered for our webinars will receive a notification once that webinar is added to the support website. You'll include a link there so you can rewatch it or share it with anyone that's not able to join today's live presentation. Another thing for those of you joining live, at the end of our presentation, we do have a webinar survey. We do ask that you provide some feedback if you've got 1 or 2 minutes at the end. We do appreciate any feedback that you provide, as well as any topic suggestions for future webinar presentations. And lastly, I'm happy to also announce that our next webinar next month will be covering a topic, or actually revisiting a topic we've already covered in previous couple of years ago, I think now, but that's our GDS rate linking. So we'll look at how to link rates from RoomKey to third-party providers on GDS platforms like TravelClick, iHotelier, Synexus, etc. Great. So for today's presentation, let's take a look at an overview of the setup and customization for the eRes booking engine. Now, when you first get started with eRes, or maybe when you first start with RoomKey completely, you will have a booking engine that will look similar to this. So it's a very basic booking engine outline. It allows guests here that are traveling, that are maybe visiting your website, to be able to search for availability and book a reservation from your website. These bookings are commission-free. So when a guest is booking from your hotel website using our eRes booking engine, there are no commission fees that you incur for these types of bookings. So it is a very easy and direct way to drive business to your hotel from online guests that are visiting your website. Again, very basic process here is that the guests can search for availability, they can view the rates and different room types that are available for their selected dates. They can enter their guest information, so contact details like name, address, telephone number. You can collect credit card information, and if you are integrated with a processor with RoomKey, you can also integrate that processor to take an advance payment if that is your property policy. And then, of course, at the end of the process, the guest would receive a confirmation letter from RoomKey confirming their booking. So very basic outline here, but what we do as part of our onboarding process when you first start with RoomKey is that we actually do some customization for this booking engine so that it appears very similar to your hotel website. So this is an example landing page on the right-hand side for a fake hotel called the Westerly, based in Vancouver. Here you can see that there's been website branding, so the colors have been updated so that they match the branding for this hotel. There's a property logo that's been added at the top of the screen, as well as a property image, or sorry, a custom banner. And then to the right-hand side, we can even include a image of the property, or this is sometimes called a hero image, added. And again, that is often coming from your property website. We customize this branding. This is very basic customization that we do for all of our properties that are using eRes that is directly connected to RoomKey. Now we can go further and we can add further customization. And if you'd like to see more information about the different things that can be customized on subsequent pages, like the rates page or guest page, some of the custom messaging, you can actually find that information on our support website. So I'm just going to pull up our support website here, and this is the eRes booking engine manual available on our support website. In the second section here under eRes customizations, we have an article called eRes customizations. This article here is going to go through in detail about everything that can be customized for those eRes pages. And again, this article is quite long, so you can scroll through and see in detail all of those different elements that can be customized for your property. So that again is found in the eRes booking engine manual under eRes customizations. Let me just minimize that and come back to our presentation here. Right, so once you have set up and customized your eRes booking engine, another thing that you'll likely do as part of your basic configuration or basic distribution is to add eRes rates from RoomKey so that guests can view rate information, book a rate directly online, and then we can view that reservation inside RoomKey. So to add rates to eRes, there are 3 steps, and we're going to go through them one at a time. So the first step is to enable the hotel website distribution channel. Now, one thing before I jump into these 3 steps is we do have a full training manual on how to create a rate from scratch, load rate prices, and make it bookable. That's from our Rate Wizard webinar. I do recommend that you take a look at that webinar if you wanted to see the full process of creating a rate from scratch. This process is going to assume that you already have a rate built inside RoomKey, inside Rate Wizard, and this will show you how to use that existing rate and distribute it to the eRes booking engine. Great. So once again, we'll start with step 1. This is how to enable the hotel website distribution channel. So in RoomKey, you're going to select the Rate Wizard and select the rate here. We'll use the best available rate. Click the Edit button in the bottom left-hand corner. And when the screen opens up, you want to select the hotel website distribution channel and click Update. Now you'll see the hotel website is now checkmarked in that hotel website column. So you do need to have rate, in order to distribute a rate to eRes, you do need to have that hotel website distribution channel selected. Now the next step is we are going to add rate prices to that hotel website distribution channel. So you've enabled the channel for the best available rate. Now we're going to load prices into that distribution channel. So once again, we'll select that rate in the Rate Wizard. This time you'll select the Next button. This is going to bring up the rate grid, and down in the bottom you'll see the hotel calendar. But when I move to the hotel website distribution channel, you'll see that there are no rates set up for this channel. So I do need to load rates using the rate grid at the top of the screen. This example, I'm just going to use $100 as my base rate. I'll select the date from and date to. So this is going to be loaded for 2025 May through to the and then I will select update rate amounts, and you'll notice that I have distribution channels selected at the bottom. I'm only going to load these rates into the hotel website distribution channel and click save. When I load my rates, I should now see the rates appear in the lower half of the screen in my rate calendar below. So that is how you would load rate prices when you have added a brand new distribution channel like the hotel website. Now I have one final step. Step number 3 is to attach a client type to the hotel website distribution channel. Sometimes we call this step making it bookable because every rate requires at least one client type attached in order to be bookable. So let's see how to do that here in step number 3. We're going to pick up where we just left off in the rate grade there. We'll just head back to the main page and make sure we have the best available rate selected. We'll go back to the edit button, the pen and paper symbol in the bottom left corner. And once this page opens up, it'll just take a moment here. There we go. At the top of the screen, you're going to go directly to the Client Types tab. Here you will see the hotel website distribution channel. And when you click the black arrow, it will expand to show you all the different client types available. In this example, I'll select the website/eRes booking client type and click Update. You can now close out of the rate wizard completely. So once you complete those 3 steps, that will ensure that the hotel website distribution channel is enabled. There are prices loaded into that distribution channel, and the prices and rate is now bookable because you have a client type attached. Now, one last thing that I wanted to note, that step number 3, the client type that I used did have a custom name associated with it. So the name was website/eRes booking engine. In your property, you may have a different name assigned to your eRes booking channel or that type of client type. So I'm just going to open up RoomKey and show you where you can find your custom name or the name of the client type you should use. So here in RoomKey, I'm just going to open up the rate wizard. So from system configuration, I selected rate wizard to open up the rate wizard on screen here. At the bottom of the rate wizard, there is a button that says client types. This actually is a shortcut to your client types module, which will list all of your client types that have been built inside your database. And what you want to look for is here in the code column in this list, all the way to the bottom, you will see a code called web. Now, this is a special code that is only available for properties using eRes. The code web cannot be changed, but this name that displays can be changed. So this database, like I said, has a custom name that says website/eRes booking. Yours might just say website booking or just eRes. If you would like to change or modify this code at any time, you can click modify at the right-hand side. And you'll notice that you can change this general information. So you can change it to a different name, and you can give it a custom sort order if you prefer. The only thing you cannot change is the code itself because that is required for eRes. So I'm just going to close out of here and head back to our presentation. So now that we've seen how we can add rates to eRes, let's take a look at how to book a reservation on eRes. So we've loaded that rate, and that was for May 2025. So this is going to show how you can actually book that rate as if you were an online guest. Great. So the guest is going to select their arrival and departure dates. Again, I'm just going to move over to 2025 for this example. The guest can enter the length of stay or number of nights. And they can also enter in occupancy information. So just one adult here, and then they select search availability. Now this is just going to show a processing bar because what eRes is actually doing is pulling that information from RoomKey. So here I can see my daily rate. This is the best available rate where I can see the information about the guest room, the rate, and cancellation policy. When I'm ready, I can click Book Now. That will bring me to the guest page. I can still see my rate information here on screen, but as I scroll down, I can now enter in the contact details for my guest. So here I've entered in contact details, and at the bottom, I can even enter in my credit card details. There we go. I can add additional comments. So if there are any requests, guest requests, those can be entered in at this point. And before I complete the booking, I do need to review the policy information and agree to the policy for this booking. When I complete the booking, I will get a confirmation page here letting me know my confirmation number or my res ID for this booking. I can print my confirmation or I can make a new reservation as well. So pretty straightforward process for creating a reservation in RoomKey there. Now, when the guest completes the reservation, you did see that at the very end, they do get that confirmation number. And I said that that is actually the res ID for their booking in RoomKey. So that booking has been immediately sent to RoomKey and confirmed with those guest details that the guest entered. So if I open up RoomKey here on screen, I can actually do a search for that guest. So I'll just do F3 for advanced search. Let me go ahead and enter in the res ID for this guest, which was 2754. And I can see that reservation here on my search. Let me just go ahead and click OK. This is what that reservation looks like inside RoomKey. So it comes through with all of those guest details, the contact information that they entered as part of their booking. Their credit card details also come through. So that was entered on eRes and securely transferred here to RoomKey. The other key features that I have here is the client type is using the website / eRes booking. That's the client type that we assigned for these types of rate distribution in step 3. We have the rate code, which is showing /hotel website. And I can also see that up on my view screen up above. And I also have a source business or source for this booking. It says eRes web reservation. Lastly, I do have a reservation note on file letting me know that the guest has requested a high floor. So any additional comments that the guest adds at the end, just before they complete the booking, those will automatically pull through as a reservation note onto that booking itself. So very direct and simple way of making reservations from your website through eRes directly into RoomKey. Now let's take a look at another type of booking. Next, we have corporate web codes, also called promo codes on eRes. So from the eRes booking engine, when the guest is making their booking, I did go through that process just now, but at the bottom of the screen, before I search for availability, I have the option to add a promo code. And this is actually connected to the corporates module inside RoomKey. So in RoomKey, you can actually set up a promo code or web code for a corporate account. The guest can use that promo code on eRes to access the corporate rate for that company. Now, before I show you how to create and manage these web codes in RoomKey, if you would like to see how to create and manage corporate accounts and corporate rates, we do have a full webinar that shows the process step by step and gives more detailed information on how to set up a corporate account and attach corporate rates. That is our corporate webinar. So if you'd like to see more information about that, definitely check out that webinar. Here, this video is going to assume that you've already set up your corporate account and attached your corporate rates. So in the corporate module, we're going to just show how to create that web code or promo code here in RoomKey. So in the corporates module, you'll select the company profile and click the web codes tab. At the bottom left-hand corner, you can click insert and it'll automatically assign an access code, but you can type over this if you'd like to customize that code and give it a custom description. So in this case, this is for the ABC company. I've added the access code and a description, and you click post. Very straightforward there. So that's all you need to do in order to create the web code. I just created one web code there, but if you'd like to create different web codes, that is available as well. You can activate or deactivate different web codes depending on how you want to do your tracking for those codes themselves. Now, before I show you the tracking, let me go ahead and show you how to make a booking with that promo code. So we've seen how to create the promo code in RoomKey. Now let's take a look at how to make a reservation or to use that promo code to access the corporate rate in eRes. From the eRes booking engine, at the bottom of the screen, the guest is going to click, "Do you have a promo code?" And they'll type in that promo code that they use for their business. Click search availability, and that's now going to show us the corporate rates. Again, they can view information about the different room types. Here we have the rate description, knowing that it is specific for this company, and they can click Book Now. They can still see information about their rate, that is the corporate rate that they've booked, and the rate name will display at the top here. The guests can enter their contact details, credit card details, any additional comments that they want to use. And even with these corporate bookings, they do need to select their policy and acknowledge that they've read and agree to the policy there to complete their booking. Once again, when the guest has completed the booking, they'll get a confirmation number. Their confirmation letter will be sent to their email, and they also have the option to print that. Great. So once the guest has completed their corporate booking, let's take a look at what it looks like inside eRes when we receive one of those bookings. So I'm going to search for a different reservation ID. This time I'm going to use the search option from the search drop-down menu. And the res ID for that corporate booking was 2755. So I can see that corporate booking coming in May 1st, checking out May 2nd. Here in the rate code, I can see that this is the company rate for ABC Company, and it was made through the hotel website distribution channel. If I look at the guest info, of course, I can see all of those booking details, contact details for the guest, the credit card information, and at the top of the screen here, I can see the client type. Now, this was a corporate online booking, so we have that as the client type. The rate code is the ABC company rate for the hotel website distribution channel. And you'll see that the source still tells me that this is through the eRes web reservation, but it's also included the corporate web code that I use to make the booking. So that will be added in as part of the source of business. So you can see that this one is different than the regular guest that did not use a promo code. The other thing that is unique for this guest, at the bottom of the screen, I can see ABC Company is the associated company for this reservation. So if I wanted to see, if you are doing any of your corporate reporting from the corporates module, this reservation will be associated with the ABC Company, so that specific company in the corporates module. Wonderful. So that is it for our corporate web codes. Now let's take a look at another type of code that can be used on eRes. Group codes are very common to use for event attendees to book directly online. On eRes, just like we saw with the corporate code, we do have an option to enter in a group code as part of the search page. So here on eRes, before the guest searches for availability, they can enter in a group code and access group block inventory and group block rates. Now, you do need to set up this code in advance before the guest can use it on eRes. So this video is going to show how to create a group code from the groups module. Now, this is just a short video that's just going to show the group code and eRes in specific information. If you would like to see how to create a group and add inventory and attach group rates, that information is available in a webinar that was presented earlier. It is called the Group Blocks webinar. I recommend that you check that webinar out if you would like to see step-by-step information for how to create a brand new group in RoomKey. This video is going to assume that you've already created the group, you've added rates, or you've attached rates to the group, and you've added inventory or group block inventory to the group. So once you've done that in the groups module, this video is going to show you how you can add that group code. So in the groups module, you'll select the group. This is the Johnson/Jones wedding. And on the right-hand side, you'll click eRes page. You want to allow access through RoomKey eRes, and you want to assign a group code. Now, RoomKey will automatically assign a group code, and this actually just pulls directly from the group ID that you set up when you created the group. You can use that existing group code, or here I'm showing you can actually type over the group code. So I've changed it to Johnson Jones and click post. So very simple way to enable the rates on eRes and create that custom group code for the group itself. Once you've created the group code in RoomKey, the guest can now use that code to book a reservation as part of the group block. So this next video is going to show how that guest would go online and book through eRes using that group code. So first, the guest does need to select the dates for the group. So this is arriving May 4th, and it'll be 2 adults. They'll select group code, and they'll enter in the group code that they have and select search availability. You'll notice that the rates that display are the group rates, and the only rooms that will display here are the ones that are added to the group block. So I can view information about those rooms and click the Book Now button. The guest will view their information. Note that the rate is the group rate through the hotel website distribution channel. The guest can add their contact details, credit card information, just like we've seen so far. And once again, they do need to select that they confirm that they've read the hotel policy, booking policy there before they complete their booking. Once they complete their booking, they'll get that confirmation number, which is also that Res ID in RoomKey. Great. So now that the guest has booked their reservation, as a RoomKey user, we can actually view that reservation inside RoomKey directly. You open up RoomKey here once again. I'll just do a search for the guest Res ID or their confirmation number, which was 2756. Search. Excellent. So this is the reservation for Lisa Jones. I can see her arrival and departure information, and the rate code shows me that this is the group rate through the hotel website distribution channel. In the lower half of the screen, I can see the guest information that Lisa had entered when she was adding those details to eRes. And as part of the client type, I can see that this guest client type is actually the group/tour client type. Again, this might be a custom messaging or custom labeling. So you may have just group booking or group reservation listed as the client type here. I have the rate code, which shows me the group rate/hotel websites. And my source of business, it does tell me that it came through the eRes reservation, but similar to the corporate web code, it actually adds on the the group code that this guest used to book their reservation on eRes. It's just cut off a little bit here because of the restrictions on this field space. But this would show up in full on any of our source of business reporting. Lastly, at the bottom of the screen, I can see that this guest is associated with a specific group, specifically the Johnson/Jones wedding. So not only is the reservation guaranteed and appearing here in my reservation screen in RoomKey, if I go to the operations menu and select my groups module and take a look at the Johnson-Jones wedding group, I'll just double click on this group. I can actually access a rooming list for this group so far. Here on the rooming list tab. So we can see Lisa Jones is showing up on the rooming list. Because rooms are still available in this block, I do still have empty spaces that appear at the top that are showing the other availability or additional rooms that are still remaining inside the block for this group. So from RoomKey, I'm able to access and manage that reservation as a reservation itself here in RoomKey or as part of the group in the rooming list. We have one additional advantage using group codes and allowing access through eRes, and that is the ability to have a portal for a group coordinator, or if it's a wedding, you might have the bride and groom as the ones overseeing the group block, and they can actually log into eRes and manage the group block information. So from eRes, this is called the Groups Online Portal. Just before I show that on eRes, just going to bring up RoomKey and show you where this portal information can be enabled or managed. Back here in the Groups module, so I'll select Operations and Groups. When we set up the eRes page in the group code for group guests, you'll notice that I also have the ability to set up a username and password. Here, I've just used a generic password, just password. So when you create a group code, you can also create that portal access at the same time. Now, you don't have to do this. You don't have to give the portal access, but it is a really helpful tool to pass on to anyone who is coordinating or overseeing the group block itself. So once you have the username and password, you can give that information to the group coordinator, or in this case, you might give it to the bride and groom overseeing having the wedding. And when they open or navigate to your eRes page, in the top right-hand corner, there is a Groups button. They can click on Groups, and this is actually going to redirect them to a group portal where they will be asked for their group ID and password. So I'm going to enter in that group ID and password that I created in RoomKey. Select Login. And here I can see some key pieces of information about this specific group. So this is the block information where I can see details about the group name, arrival and departure dates, contact information, and I can also see how many rooms are in the block and what room types. So it does show my different room types listed here, and at the very bottom I can see how many rooms are remaining in the block and how many rooms have been picked up. Now, I do have some guests that have booked outside of the block, so that's why I do have some rooms picked up without availability. So that can happen sometimes if you're giving any complimentary rooms, maybe a bridal suite or a get-ready suite in the case of a wedding event like this. If I scroll back up to the top of the page, I can also view a list of reservations that have already been made. So if I'm the bride and I'm reviewing this list of reservations, I might want to make sure that all of my guests that I've invited have gone ahead and booked. If there's any guests that are missing from this reservation list, I know that I can go follow up with them. So if I've got an uncle who hasn't booked yet, I can make sure to remind him that he needs to book his reservation for the wedding. Lastly, there's also the option to add a note or an attachment. So if I'm the bride, I might want to add a little salutation or a little thank you note for making their reservation that they would receive when they make their booking. The other thing that I can do is upload an attachment, like maybe a PDF that shows the itinerary for the event. I can upload that, and when the guest books their reservation, they would receive a copy of that itinerary or that attachment alongside their confirmation letter. Okay. So really helpful tool here for group coordinators. Again, it is optional, so maybe depending on the types of groups that are staying at your property, not every group would use this groups portal, but it is available from the eRes booking engine just by clicking on that groups button at the top right-hand corner. Excellent. So, quite a lot of information we've gone through so far today. All of these features are available to use and get started right away if you have your eRes set up. If you don't have your eRes set up as part of your onboarding process with RoomKey, you can contact our inside sales manager, Michael Mitchell. His contact information is on screen here, and he would be able to help you to purchase eRes and purchase eRes customization. Just a reminder, if you have already customized your eRes, or if you do change your branding and you want to change the branding that has been customized on eRes, you will need to contact Michael in order to purchase customization from our inside sales team there. Wonderful. So to wrap up our presentation today, we've seen some basic setup and basic distribution, where we set up and customize eRes, looked at how to add rates to the eRes, which is the hotel website distribution channel. We saw how to include corporate web codes or promo codes, as well as group codes and that group's portal login. I'm going to open up the floor now and see if there's any questions about the topics we've looked at so far today. So we've got a couple of questions that have been already answered by my colleague, William Tam. Thank you so much, William. I'm just going to leave the floor open a little bit longer. If anyone would like to ask or type in any questions into the Q&A button, happy to answer those live as well. I do see one question that William already answered about promotional rates. If you do have any questions about promos or coupons, we'll actually be talking about that in tomorrow's presentation when we look at advanced distribution and configuration. So sit tight for those topics. That'll be a big one and most of our presentation for tomorrow. Okay, so it looks like there are no outstanding questions. Thank you everyone for joining in today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see many of you for tomorrow's presentation, the day 2 for eRes booking engine. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your day.